We've got to get these crops in, honey. The rains are coming, and so is the cold.
Oh, Morgan, I'm worried. With Susie Crook, she's just a girl.
I'll trap some more furs to sell at the markets before the bite of winter truly sets in. We'll be fine.
Origins Halloween.
I want to be with you, and it scares me.
How can you be scared of your mother?
Do you know what you are celebrating on this October 31st?
Get up!
I can't, Father. You cannot know.
Ah, Susie, there you are.
What is the meaning of this? Who are you?
We are your priests and prophets. We're looking for someone to join us with All Hallows
Get
Eve.
out of my way. I don't join in with your pagan festivals.
How can you drive a wagon with a bullet in your head, Morgan?
Susie, are you all right?
Do you really know what it is you are celebrating? If you don't, then follow me along on this journey into All Hallows Eve. If you dare.
Because the Druids would find out they'd do something terrible to me. I've seen it.
Gathering? What gathering? What boat, Morgan? I told you to watch your back.
And you filth. If you get some stupid idea into your head to run, you won't be quick enough.
Bloody hell, Susie, he's gone. Where has he gone? A family sacrifice. You really do bring honor to this place.
Father, no!
Susie, is that...
Katie, yes. I thought she was dead.
A marvellous harvest we will have next year.
I can see them.
Origins Halloween. Ebook and audiobook. Warning, content will offend.
Origins Halloween audiobook, written and narrated by Ian King. We've got to get these crops in, honey. The rains are coming, and so is the cold.
Yes, I know, dear. I'm not even sure we will have enough for the winter. Oh, Morgan, I'm worried. With Susie Crook and these fusses lately, she's just a girl. Not very strong, you know.
Yes, Barbara, I know. If we just conserve what supplies the good Lord has helped us to gather for the coming seasons, I'll try to hunt for some more meat. I'll trap some more furs to sell at the markets before the bite of winter truly sets in. We'll be fine, honey.
Oh, I hope so, Morgan. I really do.
It was a simple home that Morgan had constructed himself when they'd settled here 2 years ago. He had sawn and shaped the timber poles with some help from the neighbours. Well, hardly neighbours, since the closest one was about 3 miles away, across rough terrain. However, it served. He had even installed real glass panels in the window frames. They cost a pretty penny, and yet absolutely essential in this harsh and extreme climate up here in the mountains. Flat land was not common at such an altitude. The soil was rich from ancient volcanic activity in the area. Crops grew well, usually, despite the terrain. This year had been a harsher one, however, than, from what the locals had said, for 10 years, or thereabouts. It was at that same period of time in which several families starved to death in their mountain huts because of crop failures. Bodies had lain undiscovered until the next spring, looking like frozen meat themselves, mysteriously preserved. Some bodies were never found. Was it wolves or bears who feasted upon them? No one could tell. No evidence was ever found. No bones or hair, scraps of clothing, nothing. Druids roamed these parts too, particularly after the harsh years. They would turn up one day and demand of the hard-working locals. Trick or treat actually meant, you give us something, or else a trick of bad luck will happen to you. Superstition still had a hold over these simple-minded, hard-working folk. On his last trip to town, which was nearly a day's journey from his humble abode, he overheard that druids had been seen dancing around a bonfire, celebrating with unidentified females from the districts. It sounded like the celebrations were somewhat sexually charged and had been reported as wild and festiveness. In fact, some dancers looked like they were actually floating and flying above the fires. There were glimpses of them near the lake between the trees. He heard about 3 teenage girls that had disappeared in recent weeks too, from among the mountain families. He remembered similar stories of missing girls from last year and hoped there would be no link. His own daughter was becoming a young woman herself, and it worried Morgan. His only hope was that it was merely common gossip of the overstimulated minds of the local drunks. He had never been a superstitious man himself, but Barbara, she was a different kettle of fish. She was raised in a community known to sacrifice unlucky lottery winners to their harvest gods in hope of a great crop. Morgan thought it was a load of rubbish. Some seasons are plentiful, others are lean, and that is just the nature of things. When Morgan finally arrived home to Barbara and his 13-year-old daughter Susie, Barbara had not stopped fretting about their crop and how much or how little Morgan had stored away for the fast-approaching winter. Morgan had had a gutsful of it, actually. He had worked so hard all year, planting, harvesting, and storing up supplies. There was plenty. They would be fine. He noticed odd behaviour of late from his wife and his daughter. What did they get up to while he was away on his fortnightly journey into town? Last time he went, Susie pleaded with him to take her to town with him, although she wouldn't tell him why. She seemed to be afraid of something. Susie was getting ill regularly. She was quite thin and spindly, and that worried Morgan too, if she would ever even survive the winter.
Father, take me to town, please. I don't like it here when you're away. Please.
Susie talked in hushed tones with her father.
Honey, it's not an easy journey. When you are well, I'll take you, okay? I don't want you falling off the wagon now, do I?
I won't. I want to be with you. Mother scares me. You have got to take me. You must.
What do you mean? How can you be scared of your mother?
And that is usually where the conversation ended, abruptly. No matter how hard he tried, he could never get an answer.
Barbara, what is Susie scared of when I'm in town? Have those wolves been hanging around again? You know where the rifle is, honey. Use it if you have to.
Morgan, I will not hold a rifle. I simply can't. I don't think that even if I did, I could hit anything.
Look, Barbara, just the noise alone would be enough to get rid of them. Susie is scared of something. Protect her.
I do, Morgan. I'm so busy when you are away. And sometimes she simply wanders off by herself to who knows where. What am I supposed to do with her?
Look after her, that's what you do. Times are hard for all of us.
That is how his last trip away began. His journey was met with success, though, and he had a good lot of supplies loaded into the wagon. There would not be much chance from now on to get into town again, but he had to do at least 2 more trips, just to make sure. When he travelled back 2 days later, it was dark. The sun goes down so early this time of the year. He felt like he was being watched, but couldn't see clearly into the woods from his vantage point on the trail. The hair pricking up on his neck had been the only warning he got. He heard a snap from within the scrub, and his rifle was in his hand promptly. He waited, but nothing happened. Wolves again, he thought. He arrived home, and the house was dark and silent. Barbara had placed a candle burning in the window, so he managed to slip in without causing too much disturbance.
Barbara, I'm back. How was the last few days? And Susie?
Oh, Morgan, let me sleep. I'll tell you in the morning.
Darn! Despite Morgan's tiredness, he still felt a little frisky, but he let it go. He thought, perhaps before the sunrise. Morning came and went with no events. Barbara began the day rather uptight and was not at all interested in what was on Morgan's mind. Conversations seemed strained over the following fortnight before he readied himself again for what may be his last final trip to town. The snows had begun to fall, and it would not be safe to go next fortnight.
I'll hurry back as fast as I can, okay, honey?
Don't rush, Morgan. I want you home in one piece. We will be fine.
His daughter had been pleading again over the last 2 days. She would not give up. Some distance was noticeable between Barbara and Susie, not the usual connections there.